Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning to you. Time for Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. Thursday morning is July 27th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan. With me at the Coffee Ann table at the moment, Dave Richards. Hello there, Dave.
Hi, Joe.
Nice
Good morning,
to have you.
everybody. Lovely day.
Now, Bob Lauder is normally here on Thursdays. Could not make it in today. We hope to have Bob here
Yeah, where is he
next week.
anyway?
Away.
Okay.
He's away. We'll also be joined a little later
Is he
on.
like
in a few
anchors
minutes.
away?
Could be. Sue Tessier-McKenzie from The Call will be joining us, and around 8:30 we'll be joined by Cindy Johnston, Finance Director for the City of Woonsocket. So we'll keep things moving right along. In the meantime, enjoy it while you can, like Dave keeps saying, because the heat advisory kicks in about 3 hours, according to the National Weather Service. And it stays with us until Saturday night.
And if you're
at
listening
8
to the
p.m.
replay, it's already
It's
on.
already started. So you already know, hey, it's hot out. So yeah, that does kick in at 11 on Thursday morning. And as they say, once the heat advisory really gets going, stay hydrated, stay in air-conditioned rooms, stay out of the sun, and check up on your
pretty much
neighbors
loaf
and
off,
relatives.
really, yeah.
No running marathons, no cutting the grass.
What?
Don't play tennis. Limit those outdoor activities is what we're basically saying. All right. We do have a note that was called in, Dave, and 766-1240 is the number you can call in as well. And it just says last month, the preseason favorites for the Stanley Cup, next year's Stanley Cup, were released. The odds that Vegas puts out of who's going to win the Stanley Cup. And the Boston Bruins were at a 4-1 odds. Now, this was last month. Since then, the Bruins have traded away a bunch of players, and as we all know, Patrice Bergeron retired just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So their odds have gone from 4-1 to 16-1.
Of course.
Now, they made history last year. They broke a lot of records. Ullmark played hurt in the playoffs, and the person is saying, so why didn't they just leave well alone? I guess they're meaning the Bruins. Why didn't they just
Would
leave
that be
everything
well
alone?
enough, perhaps? A
Yeah.
typo? Yeah, okay.
Well, you can't. Bergeron retiring, that was out of their control, and I think they just looked at their team and said, "We need a bunch of younger players," which is what they went and got.
Right.
So maybe we're rebuilding this year. We're going to keep we're keeping our two goalies, but they went and got a bunch of younger players. So.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do. So I can see where the odds have dropped for them to win the Stanley Cup 4 down to 16. So,
Well, I got the distinct
Okay.
impression during
Yeah.
the last part of last season that there was some discontent in the clubhouse. And
possibly. Yeah.
and sometimes that comes about when you have a member of the team who is not happy. Sometimes that member of the team can make a couple of other people unhappy,
Yeah.
and before you know it, you got a bunch of unhappy guys who are just punching a time card.
Mm-hmm.
This does not win Stanley Cups.
No.
And so, yeah, right. Especially if you're playing against a team that's together, having fun, the emotional element is there. They think win, they are win, they do win, and like that. Where the others are saying, okay, we got to get through another one. They'll usually get beaten by the ones who are on the upswing.
So maybe that's what they did. They got rid of some of those guys that weren't happy or whatever.
Right. And so
okay,
now they
they're
have
doing.
to fill in around them and buttress the new players.
So the question then arises now is because Patrice Bergeron retired.
And that may have been the reason why he retired this year instead of next year, saying,
maybe.
I'm not so sure I want to be captain of this team.
So the question is, who becomes captain of the team?
Oh, that's easy.
I've heard 4 names.
Everybody wants it.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
But I've heard 4 names that are at the top of the list. Brad Marchand.
Of course.
Did
he not want it? Is that the deal? Why
Marchand?
he didn't get it earlier?
Well, after Zdeno Chara retired, they gave it to Bergeron
Right.
because he's been there longer.
Right. But I thought Marchand would have been eligible.
He was,
Yeah.
and but they gave it to Bergeron.
Okay.
So Marchand again, David Pastrnak, Charlie McAvoy. Who I think
Really?
is kinda,
Pudgy little Charlie?
Yeah, who I think is kind of young for that, and Charlie Coyle. Those are the four names that are being kicked around as the next captain.
Well,
so.
it depends on their acumen inside the clubhouse, I
Yep.
suppose.
I really think Marchand and Pasternak are leading the pack on that one. So
Could be.
we'll see how that goes. So
Pasta's,
that's what's up with the
Pasta's
Bruins.
got the better nickname.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't think you've been to the Garden when Pasternak scores a goal.
No.
But that's all they show on the big screen is plates of spaghetti.
Oh, do they really?
So it's a pasta night. Yeah, pretty funny stuff there. All right. The other thing going on in the news yesterday that was big is Sinead O'Connor passes away
Yes.
at the age of 56. They do not give a reason yet of how. 56, rather young, and they're not saying. Now, she did have a son that committed suicide about a year ago,
Right.
so it's possible she might have done the same.
Is that so?
Yep. What I'm reading is she was very distraught after the death of her child, and didn't really want to go on living without them, and made it another year. So it's possible she's done that. I'm just speculating. I have no idea what actually happened, but it's certainly a possibility, I guess. So maybe we'll find out in the next day or so of what caused Sinead O'Connor to pass away. And of course, I was watching that. I was watching that night on Saturday Night Live, when she was performing,
Right.
and it's the only time I've ever seen anything like it. Because not the ripping up of the Pope's picture,
No.
which was just bizarre at the time, but the absolute silence in the studio when she did it. There was no clapping. There was no cheering. There was no booing. It was just silent, and it was just weird. And then I'm sure the director said, "All right, go to commercial," and they did. It just kind of faded out, and they went to commercials, and then I forgot what they did when they came back. It was so many years ago. So we're like, so yeah. Did you see when that happened live, Dave? Were you watching
I
that
wasn't
night?
watching that because I was working that night.
That night?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't offer it on replay.
No, no, and I think the switchboard at NBC in New York really lit up with what was that all about?
Well, nobody's answering the phones at that point. Nobody's answering the phones at that point.
I wonder if they called their local NBC affiliate and
Oh, I'm sure
say,
they did that too.
what is that garbage all about? Sue Tessier McKenzie has joined us. Hi, Sue.
Good morning.
Do you remember that
Excuse me,
night
Let me adjust that.
when Sinead O'Connor ripped up the
Yes,
picture
I
of the
do.
Pope?
And they showed it again last night
Did
on
they?
the news.
On the news?
Yeah,
This
Saturday Night Live. I saw it.
yeah, and well, she passed away, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So did the Pope.
And yes, that Pope passed away too.
Okay.
And and that's what happens, And I guess she after she did that, she performed at Madison Square Garden. There was some benefit, and that didn't go well for her.
Really?
She came out to sing, and she just got booed terribly, and she went off stage crying, and Chris Christopherson was there to console her.
Really?
Yes, I remember. Don't worry, they're the jerks and not you, and blah, stuff like that. And then she went on to have her life back there in Ireland. She actually had a very tough life. I don't know. I read a little bit on it yesterday.
Yeah. You know what? I had read stuff before, and you're correct. It was a difficult life.
Mm-hmm. I remember when she tore up the picture. I'm like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, but that also, mental challenges as well.
Possibly.
Yeah.
You're right. All right. So a little closer to home, probably to no surprise to the three of us here, that the two Pamula sisters that are accused of killing their dad pleaded not guilty.
Of course they did.
Which is what you do when you're charged with murder. You plead
we
not
discussed
guilty.
this last week. Why did they plead not guilty? It's obvious they did it, and
well,
Bob
that's right.
explained it to us.
That's why. And even though you're standing there with your fingerprints all over the shears that are sticking out of his neck,
Yeah.
it's pretty. He fell on him. I don't know. I don't know. But you're right. That's just what you do. So you can swing the best deal possible for you. So, all right. So that moves forward. Dave, in the story that we had about them, did it say when they're due back in prison? Back in court? Oops. They're not leaving prison
That
right
was
now.
that was a
Yeah.
Freudian
Yeah.
slip.
They are held without bail, Joe.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But it doesn't say when the next court date is, huh?
No,
No?
I don't recall that it did.
Okay. All right. Well, they can be. They're at the ACI, right? That's what. Is there?
Yeah.
There's a women's division down there, isn't there?
Well, I'm sure
Of
there
the- of
is.
the
I just
ACI?
don't know yeah.
Okay. All right. The other one of the other stories going on is the settlement that was reached by the Attorney General's office and the car dealerships in Johnston and in East Providence.
Which were all the same family
Which are all
car
the same-
dealership.
yeah, it's all one. It's
said there
Greco
was
Honda,
Greco, I was just
dealerships
gonna
like
say
there was-
Greco Toyota, and Greco Hyundai. Two of them are in Johnston, one's in East Providence.
Yep.
And the AG's office came after them with their deceptive advertising.
Well, being in advertising that handles car dealers,
You got to get it right, huh?
I have. I'm gonna tell you, I often question some of the ads. I mean, not so much now,
Yeah.
but when I first started, 16 years ago, and you're saying, "Oh no, we can advertise that because we have one of those."
Okay.
You have to put the stock number. I can sell that car at that price with that rebate,
Okay.
but I only have one.
And so in the tiny print, that's where the
The
stock number
stock
is?
number
Yeah.
is written. It doesn't say we only have one,
Right.
but the stock number. I'm sorry, we sold that stock number, but we have this
This.
one.
Sounds like bait and switch, but
Yes.
technically, I guess it
Yeah.
isn't.
The state-
Technically, it isn't
the
because
state
they
thought
had
so.
the car. Right.
Well, they're just saying more for vehicles than they were, including charging more for vehicles than were advertised. So I guess
Yes.
all right, and now they're giving money back. The $500,000 in restitution
Wow.
to customers. Doesn't say how many customers fell under this, but that's a lot of money that they have to come up with.
Well, when you increase the price of something
Yeah.
and then reflect it off as a discount, I mean, Christmas tree shops being accused of doing the same thing right now. You increase the price. If it's $50, you're making it 60, but then you're taking $20 off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's something that should be fixed. Now, I don't know the proper word, legalities wise, but even, some of the stores you go into, and I'll look at a dress and at JCPenney, it's like that dress is not worth $80, and now you're going to sell it for $40 because it's 50% off. It's worth $40, then take the discount off. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So a lot of stores are doing those tactics.
Well, here's the difference between print and radio when it comes to the car dealerships.
Yeah.
And what we tend to do is stay away from the price, because the price fluctuates almost every
Absolutely.
single day. So, all right, go see so and so dealer.
Yep.
They've got a lot of cars.
Yes.
You work out the price.
Yes.
And the
Print's,
other
print's
thing-
different.
The other thing that's being done too is that they're showing a price. When they do show a numerical price,
Yeah.
it's for the lease.
Yeah, most of the time.
Because it's it's an about price.
Yeah.
You can get a lease for that much. And of course that makes it look like that's what the payment is, but that's
Yeah.
just your
That's the lease. But they also will do, and this, I was shocked when I saw this. So they'll advertise a lease price. I'm just going to use numbers. $300.
Okay.
Okay. $300 lease payment. Fine print says you have to put $4,000 down.
That's right.
And in order to qualify for that payment, they ask you a series of questions. Are you a veteran? Are you in active duty? Are you a farmer? Are you?
Really?
I mean, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, ideally, if you are all of those things, that's what your payment's going to be.
Yeah. So, but if you don't qualify, if
If
I'm
you're not
not
a farmer,
I'm not a
you
vet,
could be
it keeps
everything.
going up.
You
Yeah.
could be everything, but not a farmer.
Yeah.
And now the payment might be $320 instead of the $300 advertised.
All right. Got to check that fine print.
Yes.
And I know, yeah, it always looks good because that's what they point out when they do it on TV mostly, with the real low monthly price. And
But you
it might
can't.
not be
But
there.
trying to read the fine print on
Oh,
the
you-
TV commercial, that's the problem. In print, right now, I have a few dealers that advertise with me, and they also stayed away somewhat of the price, like when it's in today's paper,
Mm-hmm.
and they just went with, we're offering 3.9
Oh,
or
let's stay with the APR.
0%
Yeah.
or, things like that. versus just getting into
What the actual cost
yeah,
is.
Yeah.
All right.
Leave the sticker shock for the lot.
Yes,
Yep.
that's right.
For those of us who used to buy $100 cars and run them for a couple of years.
Right.
And who among us wasn't there? I mean, I don't know. I mean, heck, even the new cars. My grandmother always had a new car, but they were like Ramblers, and she paid $1,200 for the new car.
Yeah.
And now the big thing on Carvana is we have a lot of cars for under 20,000.
Right.
Okay.
It's true. It's crazy.
I remember in the 1980s, I was shocked when I got a ride in Miles Chandler's BMW, which he spent $35,000 for.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I spent $19,000 to build my house.
right.
We do got to take a break, but those Carvana ads are just bizarre to me. You just pick one on the internet and they drive it over and they buy your car and you just give them a check and say, here you go, and you haven't even driven it.
No, I don't want to buy.
Why do you buy a car like that?
I don't want to buy a pair of shoes like that. Okay, I'm just saying.
That's right. Can I just try it first? All right, break time here on Coffee and more coming up. We ask you to please stick around. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
Let me tell you about these two fantastic breakfast specials going on right now at Champ's Diner. Both specials are good on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday only. Early bird special from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. You can enjoy 2 eggs, home fries, toast, and coffee for just $6.99. Breakfast special number 2 at Champ's Diner is from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Order a breakfast meal over $7.99. You'll receive a free cup of coffee. No substitutions, please. Remember, these specials are good Tuesday through Thursday only at your favorite diner, Champ's Diner, 719 Front Street, Woonsocket. It's coming. It's the Holy Trinity Parish Carnival at the Parish Grounds on Park Square in Woonsocket. Wednesday, August 2nd through Saturday, August 5th. Ride all the Rockwell rides Wednesday night and Saturday afternoon with a one-price rides all bracelet. The Holy Trinity Carnival Kitchen and Parish Games open from 6 to 11. Food trucks featuring Mickey G's clam cakes and chowder, Spanish cuisine, and bugged-out barbecue. Classroom bingo and entertainment every night. Plus fireworks Thursday night and a Saturday matinee. It's 4 nights and one great afternoon of summertime fun at the Holy Trinity Parish Carnival, Wednesday, August 2nd to Saturday, August 5th. Make your plans to be there.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with RE/MAX Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first. And he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
Thanks for joining us on Coffee and Joe Callan here with Dave Richards and Sue Tessie
And Joe
McKenzie.
Scott has sent us a listing. Now, it's not here in the Blackstone Valley, but it's a gorgeous single-family house at what is down in Warwick on Shenandoah Road. Pretty good price, and we have pictures to show everyone who is watching our video feed. And if you're not, you can catch it later on demand. This is, what is the number? It's 168 Shenandoah Road in Warwick. It's a listing that he has. Look at that cute little gray house with the basement garage that's really actually on level. And powder blue front door. It's got gray, looks like vinyl siding to it or whatever, but let's take a few more. Look at the kitchen.
It's a
the island and the cooktop in the island. and stainless steel double-doored French door refrigerator, and all the matching stainless steel appliances, double upstairs and downstairs ovens. Even the toaster is stainless steel on the white granite countertops. My goodness, what a beautiful kitchen that is. There's
And
a
look
few
at all
more
the cabinet
pictures we're
space. Oh
showing
my
there.
God.
Yeah, I know. Tons and tons of cabinet space. And they even found some way to carve in a kitchen window looking out in the backyard while they were at it. Now, hardwood floors, they've got running carpets on them right now in these pictures here. You may want to do whatever you want to do to it, but there's still more pictures here, different angles. Now there's a full dining room right off that. This is a big open concept type of thing like you see on HGTV, where you have the kitchen and the area where people can sit right there at the counter. And now you have a huge table with, my goodness, seating for 8 for dining room, and a few more pictures of that. There's 43 pictures altogether. You can see it on the website. Let's see, storage, huge screen TV, not big screen TV, huge screen TV takes up a third of the wall. Really amazing place, because there's the living room and you've got a fireplace. Like the way they've got it decorated here, they've got longhorn steer horns on top of the mantle like that. Take a look at the that's just a huge TV. I don't even know how you look at a TV, but it's got like a split level going up to the bedrooms, nice big bedrooms. Look at the ensuite here. People on radio are going to say, Dave, get on with it. We can't see the pictures, but you can if you go watch our feed at WoonsocketRadio.com, or you can pick it up on demand on the feed later on. Just really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. Does it say how many baths and everything?
3 bedroom, 2 baths.
2 baths. I'm seeing 2 baths here, right, and 3 bedrooms in this cute little house in Warwick. So and it's turnkey ready. What would you want to do? It's already painted and decorated, and on the back you got a huge deck that steps down to the backyard. They're showing it with patio umbrellas and stuff like that, sliding glass doors to get out there. What a nice little place. So check in with Scott McGee for this great listing in Warwick if you'd like to take a look at it. And the number is 401-639-2906.
Thank you, Dave.
Everybody sing 401-639-2906.
All right.
No bell accompaniment this time. 401-639-2906. I sing a cappella, John.
All right, fine. This portion of the Coffee and program is sponsored by the Call newspaper, Sue. So what's new at the Call?
Good morning. Well, still a lot of specials going on, still construction at the building, so on and so forth. So I just wanted to point out once again, if somebody is looking for a back copy of a newspaper, or they need to run an obituary, or they need to run their memorial ad, or just an advertising, they can call me on my cell at 401-487-4136. If you're not getting your paper, you can still call me. I can't help you too much, but I can at least refer you to the place that will. Currently, that number is 767-8522 for circulation. There is a person answering the phone from our westerly office because we, as I said, can't occupy the building properly at this time. Christina handles all the obituaries, all the classified ads, all the legals, and she can be reached at 767-8503. And again, myself at 401-487-4136.
All right, Sue, thank you very much. Other things going on in the news. This is just over the line from Woonsocket into North Attleboro. A man from North Attleboro was sentenced to life in prison without parole because he killed his 2 friends.
That'll do it.
This took place in
Right.
2019. The 3 friends were celebrating a birthday party, and that's when the assault took place. And from what I read, the man that did the killing say they were coming after him because he had the marijuana. And so, no, it's mine, and I think he got out a knife.
Good
did some stabbing. So he's going away
Wow.
and won't be coming out ever. At least that's what the deal is now. So that's what took place up there in North Attleboro. All right, training
Crazy.
camp is open for the Patriots, and they had a gazillion people there yesterday.
Of course they did. They were on-
Thousands of
they-
people were there
Yep,
yesterday.
they were on the news saying, make sure you're hydrated, make sure this, that, and the other. I don't know what is allowed at the training. If you're going to the game, you have to.
It's a
have
lot more
clear-
organized than it
Training-
used to be down at Bryant University.
Oh yeah,
Training,
when I
training
went
camp
to
is different. Bring anything you want.
bring anything.
Yeah.
Well, at least at Bryant, I went there years ago with
Mm-hmm.
Alex, which is now 29. So it had to be probably 24 years ago. I mean, that's how long ago it was at Bryant.
Yeah.
Sure.
Back then, they only had a few places to sit down. Everybody else stood.
Yeah.
Now they got grandstands set up
Yeah,
for you
it's
down there.
crazy.
So yeah, it gets and there's a lot of things for kids to do there now. There's a little play area,
Yep.
if you want to call it that. And but yeah, there was thousands of people show up for that, and there'll be more thousands there today as well.
Yeah.
So best of luck to the Patriots. Mac Jones says last year was a learning experience. It sure was. After they went 8-9 and did make the playoffs, so
Right.
we can only go up from there, right? I certainly hope so. Okay,
Me
the
too, me too.
officials in Boston say the summer tunnel work is on schedule. They're closed until the end of August, and they're a third of the way through the work, and they're a third of the way through the closing. So they say everything's exactly where we want it to be.
I'm so glad I'm not in the limo
Aren't you
business.
glad?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You've done that before, the run back from Boston.
Well, I've
How would
done.
you do it now?
Let me tell you, there was one day I remember it that there was an accident in the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
The tunnel was closed, and it was a one-day deal. Okay, but it also happened last minute. Everybody was detouring. I had to go all the way like into East Boston to come back down this way, to go that way, to go that.
And this
I
is
mean,
before GPS. You had to do it by your
you
mind.
Oh God, you're not kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, I had cell phones way back before cell
Yeah.
phones were common. Of course, they were huge at
Yeah.
the time. We won't even
And-
get into that.
And no maps on them, though.
Oh, no GPS, nothing. I used to have
Pulls
to
them
make.
right into the car.
Yeah.
I used to make copies of all the maps.
Yeah.
And highlight the driver's route.
This is where you should go. Yeah.
Exactly. And that was it. Now, oh, forget it. I put my GPS on.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a place I know where to go. I put it in because if there's
Just
a
in
problem, it'll reroute you.
Someplace else.
Yeah.
Do you ever question your GPS?
Oh, yeah.
I have
don't
too.
question it. I swear at it.
Well,
I'm like,
it's-
why are you sending me that?
Well, that's
way?
what I do. I go, well, you're
Yes.
wrong. I'm going to go the way I know, and then I end up being wrong.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I wish
it-
you said there was an accident ahead. Please take this road.
Exactly.
Take this
That's the
exit. We're going to go
thing.
around it.
I figured that out finally because it happened to me the other day over the weekend, and I was like, now I know that that's the way.
That's
but if
right.
she's telling me to do that, there's a reason.
There's a reason. All right.
Yeah.
So back in the day, would you go to MapQuest? Was always the big website to go to.
Yes.
To download
That's
your
what
maps.
I would do. I would go to MapQuest.
Yeah.
I would print out
You can still do that
what.
if you
Yes,
if you
you
like.
can. I would print it out, give it to the drivers along with the map highlighted. When my drivers hit the road, they had everything they needed:
Mm-hmm.
money, phone, whatever they needed, they had it right there in their hand.
But it's tough coming back from Boston when the summer tunnel's open.
Yep.
I can't imagine trying to come back
Yep.
and not have that tunnel working.
I
And
can't
and now
even.
you're in Lowell. How did I get here?
Yep.
This is not where I want to be.
Exactly.
But things are on track, and they plan to open. And when they do open, they say the lifespan of the new tunnel will be around 50 years.
Oh, that's good.
So we won't be here when they have to redo it again.
Exactly.
How lucky for us, huh?
Right?
All right. Let's see. Oh, it's gonna be hot today.
Extremely
Remember,
hot.
keep hydrated. Could feel like 100 degrees today. So that heat advisory goes into effect a little later on Thursday morning and stays with us until Saturday night. So here we are. It's not quite Arizona hot,
Right.
but it's bad enough. So. And I was telling Dave earlier, I'm not sure if any of this is true, but I'm hearing what I think people are doing in Arizona. Someone has taken like raw cookie dough, put it on a cookie sheet, and put it in their car, and put it on the dashboard and cook the cookies that way.
I believe it because they were talking
It
about
gets
the
so hot in the
temperature.
car.
They were even talking about the temperature of the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I guess a firefighter went out. I think it said 165. I could be wrong.
Well, that could
And
be
you know
right.
they're cooking the eggs on sidewalks.
you-
All
you
those
literally
things
can do
that
it.
they've done, just like in the winter when they take the water bottle and take it outside and it just
throw it in the air,
freezes.
it turns into snow.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I've heard that one about the cookies. I've heard about someone putting
believe that.
yeast in their mailbox and making bread. And there was another one that I heard that they took a hot dog and put it on their car antenna. And from the supermarket, by the time they drove home, the hot dog was cooked.
Wow.
That's how hot it is in
hot.
Arizona. All right, we're going to take another break here on the Coffee and program. So let's get a second message, Sue, from the Call newspaper.
Okay, well, the voting, the nominate me round has ended. It ended on Sunday, the 23rd, and we are now in the process of the voting round. So any of your businesses that we had listed as categories, be it restaurants, tanning salons, hair salons, etc., you will be contacted if you are one of the top 5. At which point you can start advertising Vote For Me, which will be in print and online, as well as our promotional advertising. And then we get to the actual winners tab. But right now you will be reached if you are one of the top 5. If you have any questions, if you are one of the top 5, feel free to give me a call, 401-487-4136.
All right, Sue, thank you very much. It's time for a look at the weather forecast, being sponsored by Unbound.org.
Partly sunny skies today with a high of 92. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely after dinner time. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 73 degrees and winds up over 30 miles per hour. Friday's weather, sunny and 92. Saturday, a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms in the late day, partly sunny with a high near 90. Sunday, mostly sunny, 79. Monday, sunshine and 80. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 78. And next Wednesday, mostly sunny and 78 degrees.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with clouds, we've got 80 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change the world, and it will change your own at unbound.org.
Remote car starters are great to have in the summertime. They can cool off the inside of your car when the sun is blazing. Stop by Inferno Audio on Clinton Street in Woonsocket and speak to Keith about how easy it is to have a remote car starter installed in your vehicle. Now, if your air conditioner isn't working in your car, no problemo. Inferno Audio can make it work. So don't drive around with a hot car burning your fingertips. That's not safe. Plus, they can make car keys for any make or model of vehicle, and the price will be far less than the dealership would tell you. Stop in today and see Keith at Inferno Audio, 160 Clinton Street, Woonsocket, just next to KFC.
Canopy Lake is the place you can take everyone in the family. There's so much more to see in Canopy. Summer fun in the summer sun. Canopy Lake.
Canopy Lake Park in Salem, New Hampshire is #1 for family fun and excitement. Take a dip in our Castaway Island water park or soar through the air on over 50 rides, all included in park admission. Plus, come see the costume characters performing in Critters Live, visit with a real-life mermaid in Castaway Island, or check out our fireworks displays over the lake on Friday nights through the end of August, weather permitting. Discounted date-specific tickets are now available online in advance at canopy.com. Take Route 93 to exit 2 or 3 in Salem, New Hampshire to Canopy Lake Park, where parking is free. For hours, directions, tickets, and complete information, visit canopy.com.
There's so much more to see in Canopy. Summer fun in the summer sun. Canopy Lake Park.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox is on my morning sports reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
This portion of the Coffee and program is sponsored by attorney Bob Lauder. When you need a skilled attorney who will fight for your rights, look no further than Attorney Bob Lauder of Woonsocket. If your legal questions revolve around estates or trusts, then talk to Bob. If you're contemplating a divorce, then talk to Bob. Attorney Bob Lauder has a calming demeanor, which is very helpful in legal matters, and Bob has more than 40 years' experience practicing law. Call Attorney Bob Lauder today at 401-762-4550, 762-4550. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Coffee in here on ONAM and FM. Bob Lauder could not be with us this week. We hope Bob can be with us next week. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, Sue Tessier
Hi.
McKenzie, and we're also being joined at the coffee and table by Cindy Johnston, Finance Director from the City of Woonsocket. How are you, Cindy?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you here with us.
I know her
there
from the AutoFest steering committee.
She is on the
first.
AutoFest
Yes.
steering committee. She's in charge of the money.
Yes.
she's the
Well, of
she's the
course.
real important person. All right, but we're not here to talk AutoFest. There is a front page story on the call today. City addresses audit concerns, pledges to be better next year. Before we get to that, but Sue had a situation with her taxes.
Yes.
And what was that about?
So I have 2 vehicles in my name, and I always got taxes, the quarterly 4-piece thing that you send in. And one of them is a lease. So I don't know if that makes a difference. But I haven't gotten a bill. So I get a notice from the state saying you owe taxes to the city of Woonsocket. Call this number. I call the number, leave a message. My message was, I'm sure I owe you money. I'm not disputing that, but send me a bill, please. I gave my number. Didn't hear back from anybody. And, it's a concern, but I'm not overly concerned. And I haven't moved, in a long time. So I didn't know if anybody else is having that same issue as well.
Okay, so my first guess would have been that we have the wrong address on file, but since you haven't moved in quite a while, I'm not sure why you haven't gotten any of the delinquency notices that we've sent out.
I don't like that word.
Any reminders
There you
that we've
go.
sent out.
Thank you.
Have you forgotten us?
As you may know, there is no more motor vehicle tax bills starting this year. The state's plan to phase out motor vehicles, which I believe started maybe even more than 10 years ago, is finally at 100%.
Wow.
So
Okay.
there is no more motor vehicle tax bill. However, if you have past year's bills that haven't been paid, they're still going to be on your account.
Absolutely.
So where you haven't been getting the notices, I know that they have been sent out at least once a year. We send out motor vehicle reminders. I
Yeah.
won't say delinquency notices. I would definitely urge you to call the Treasury Department. I know off air we said that you had called them. I apologize if they haven't gotten back to you. It's been no secret that there was a staffing issue in Treasury. We had a few people leave. We had one very key employee out on leave. I had new hires, a lot of promotions. So I apologize no one got back to you.
Not a problem. I just don't want to get pinched on the street.
Yeah, so
while
I
driving.
would encourage anyone who's been had left a message. If it's more than a week old, please call back. Even this week, I have additional people monitoring our phones and getting the phone messages. And and we'll address it. If anyone's called within the past couple of days, please be patient. Treasury has been extremely busy. Like I said, we had promotions and new people. So right now we have 2 very good people running the counters, and I have a new employee who started last week. So she's helping out with phones, and I also have some staff from the other finance divisions helping out with phones. So if it's been a couple of days, someone will get back to you. Obviously, if no one's gotten back to you in a week, please call back. And if you have the ability to email the Treasury staff, that's even better, because that email will go to 5 different people, whoever's been assigned to answer emails, we'll get back to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Question, Sue, on the notice you got from the state
Yeah.
saying you owed money to the city, did it tell you how much you owed?
No.
That's odd.
And-
So please
and-
pay it, but how much?
Right. Even if it did, I'd still call because I
Yeah.
want, you used to get the 4-part bill and, and I was pretty good about paying it. But if I didn't get it, it was out of sight, out of mind. I got other bills I can pay. So out of
Yeah.
sight, out of mind. Not going to, like most people, I'm sure. So yeah, that's why now when I saw that, I need to get this taken care of. I'm not that
Mm-hmm.
person. I don't want to be delinquent.
Because you don't like that word, right?
I don't, because it makes me feel like it sounds like a bad person. You should have got your delinquency. No, it's a reminder. I like that better.
All right, so Cindy, you're quoted in today's paper, and we'll get to that in a minute. But they say city officials have agreed, have agreed to, or have already implemented 7 recommendations of city auditors to ensure better financial practices going to the next fiscal year and beyond. Were you part of the process of these 7 recommendations
Yeah.
with this audit team?
Yes, I was. Obviously, when an organization in a municipality is working with the auditors, we work very closely with them. In addition to supplying all the items that they request, which is very lengthy, we have a back and forth conversation. So I knew that these were their concerns. I knew that that was the management letter that they were going to issue. Part of a management letter is they asked for the city's response to it, which I provided. And so it was discussed at the council's workshop meeting Monday night.
Okay. Now, also in the paper is mentions that you and you're working to reorganize and build up your department through promotions that you just talked about. And she's added that you've set a goal to get the fiscal year 2023 audit submitted by the state mandated deadline of December 31st.
Yes.
Is that a reasonable goal to hit?
I'm still striving for it.
Okay.
People get tired of hearing about staff shortages, but the fact is we still have them. The last time I was here a month ago, I kind of went over the process. They're union jobs, so there's certain benchmarks we have to meet. You have to advertise. You have to advertise a week or 2 weeks, and then post the test. And then after the test, they have a review period. Then we have to go to the personnel board, who only usually meets once a month to get the list certified, and then you're allowed to do interviews and then finally appoint someone. So the problem with Treasury is, and it really wasn't a problem, I was doing promotions. So I promote one union person, okay, I've got that job filled. Now I have to go through the entire process for her job, because her job was union too. So as far as the audit, I'm doing the promotions. We're almost there. I have one more union position to fill, and I have a non-union position to fill, which is a very key position, the controller's position. We've gone out to advertise twice already, and we just haven't found the best candidate for the job.
Okay.
But hopefully, if we don't have any more surprises as far as absenteeism, whether there's a true vacancy or a medical leave, I still plan on meeting that December 31st deadline.
Okay. Also stated in the paper that one of the members of the auditing firm says that they're still waiting on a document to complete one last audit from July 2021 to June 2022. Do you know when they will get that last document that they're looking for?
So our single audit, they look at they call it a CFA, Schedule of Federal Expenditures, which I prepare, and then they determine which federal grants need to qualify for the single audit. This year on the city side, it was the CDBG grant and the home grant. My understanding is they're still waiting for one document for the home grant. I believe the folks in planning are getting that to them. Again, my department wasn't the only one that's suffered from vacancies. Planning has as well, especially in the development division, which runs the HUD programs. Obviously, there's 3 of them: emergency shelter grant, CDBG, and home. So those ladies in that department are fairly new. I've been working with them. We have a consultant that helps them as well, and we will get that document to them.
All right. So, Sue, are you sitting over there saying, "I'm so glad I'm not the finance director"?
Oh God, yeah. I'm sitting here and I'm just like,
It's mind-boggling, isn't it?
I understand most of what you're saying. I just don't want to have to do it. That's a lot of work.
It sure is. And dealing with outside auditors and trying to
Right.
hire and do your job
Yeah.
all at once. It's
Right.
terribly difficult. All right, we're going to take another break here on the Coffee and program. More's coming up, and if you get any comments or questions for Finance Director Cindy Johnston, give us a call, 766-1240. This portion of Coffee and has been sponsored by attorney Bob Lauder. When you need a skilled attorney who will fight for your rights, look no further than attorney Bob Lauder of Woonsocket. If your legal questions revolve around estates or trusts, then talk to Bob. If you're contemplating a divorce, then talk to Bob. Attorney Bob Lauder has a calming demeanor, which is very helpful in legal matters, and Bob has more than 40 years' experience practicing law. Call attorney Bob Lauder today at 401-762-4550, 762-4550. The Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love. It's coming. It's the Holy Trinity Parish Carnival at the parish grounds on Park Square in Woonsocket. Wednesday, August 2nd through Saturday, August 5th. Ride all the Rockwell rides Wednesday night and Saturday afternoon with a one price rides all bracelet. The Holy Trinity Carnival Kitchen and parish games open from 6 to 11. Food trucks featuring Mickey G's clam cakes and chowder, Spanish cuisine, and bugged out barbecue. Classroom bingo and entertainment every night. Plus fireworks Thursday night and a Saturday matinee. It's 4 nights and one great afternoon of summertime fun at the Holy Trinity Parish Carnival, Wednesday, August 2nd to Saturday, August 5th. Make your plans to be there.
It is Coffee and on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callan here with Dave Richards, Sue Tessier-McKenzie. Cindy Johnston, Finance Director from the City of Woonsocket, is here as well. And Cindy, question for you. In the front page of the call with the story, it talks about the 7 recommendations that the auditors came up with to ensure better financial practices. And some have been put into effect, others will be put into effect. And so the question is, how easy was it to implement these recommendations? And how easy will it be to implement the ones you haven't yet?
Yeah, actually, it won't be difficult. As you know, 2 or 3 of them involved the tax assessor certification. So that's already been completed for this year with a full-time tax assessor. One of the other things with assessing was access to some of the software. That was one of the first things our new tax assessor did, was look at who had what permissions, and he went through and cleaned that up for us. The other things, I don't have the list in front of me, but obviously 2 of them were timeliness, and all that goes back to the FY22 audit being so late, ridiculously late, and
Do they blame that on COVID?
no, we didn't blame that on
Okay.
COVID.
Well, that COVID got blamed for everything. So.
I know, right? No, not anymore.
All right.
That was with everything that happened last year with the mayor's removal proceedings. It took a lot of time away from the staff, certainly from me. And then we had a few people who went out on leave. We had vacancies, and it was a perfect storm. It was just really difficult, and we worked very hard to get the FY22 audit completed. Be it late, but it did get completed, and that really took a lot of work. And the staff I had worked very hard to get that completed. The other things, there were a couple of just housekeeping things that, like encumbrances. Totally agree with the auditors on that. That needs to be looked at more thoroughly when we're closing out the books. And of course, the journal entries, as I explained to the council Monday night, really all they were looking for was an initial on the transactions, and that was just us getting a little lax. There's only 2 of us that prepare the journal entries, myself and Christine Chamberlain, and then we give it to a couple of staff members who are trained to actually do the entries, data entry into the software, and then we have a 3rd person that will do all the filing system. So, there is oversight. It was just they wanted to see those initials on the journal entry, and that's no problem. We can do it. Honestly, I'm at fault for that too, because I have a very distinctive handwriting, so does Christine. So we look at it. We know who prepared this journal entry, and of course they don't totally get it. They just want to see that initial, and so they're easily implemented.
Okay. I don't want to hog this. So does Dave or Sue, do you have any questions for Cindy?
You're doing such a wonderful job, Joe. There's no
Right?
reason why I should disincentivize you.
Well, I didn't know if you had something of pressing.
The lady's doing a job I wouldn't want to do, and she's got more trouble than I have. So
Right.
I'm sitting here in awe. She's
Yeah,
got time
we're
to spend a
sitting
half an
here
hour
just
with us.
like, bless you.
How do you carve out a half an hour to be with us there when you're up to your ear
Right?
in alligators? Seriously.
I just want to say that I've been working for the city for almost 30 years, and I really love my job. I love what I'm doing. I've always loved accounting.
You don't hear that very often.
I really do love my job. I
Yeah.
mean, 30
No, the
years ago.
the accounting
Oh, the
part.
Yeah.
Oh, I've always wanted to be an accountant.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah, always. And
Depends on
I
what works
found
for people.
Yeah.
yeah, and coming from private industry to municipality 30 years ago, as soon as I started working for the city, I knew this was my niche. It's hard to explain the differences, but anyone who works for a municipality knows that it's much different than private industry, and I love it. I love my city. I was born and raised here, went through the public school system, and I love my job. I love what I do, and yes, it is a lot of work, but I enjoy it.
Well, that's important. All right.
Yes.
Is there, Sue talked about the taxes of the state coming after you. Hey, you owe money to Woonsocket. Is there a high percentage of people that owe money to the city?
No,
I know you're not really the tax department, but
yeah. So
it
what
kind
happens
of falls
with
under you.
motor vehicles, and it's nice that we don't have the billing anymore, is people move, and we don't get they don't think to notify because they just figure where they're moving to. Well, I'll start getting motor vehicle taxes from that new community. What happens though is you're taxed from the year before.
Right.
And a lot of people don't realize that. They think the minute they move, okay, I'm paying my new community taxes.
I'm done with the old one.
Right.
Yeah.
And so those old bills stay on the books forever. And another big problem is they don't return the plates when they get the new ones from their new state. So the motor vehicle billing continues until their plate expires. So they could
And
have...
I can attest to that.
Yeah, they could have 2 to 3 years of old tax bills still on the file. They're not getting the notices because we don't have the new address. And what ends up happening, and the reason you got the notice from the state is we send a file of all past due motor vehicles to the state DMV, and if you try to register your car in Rhode Island, you'll be flagged that
Say
you
you
owe
owe money.
taxes.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I
well,
guess I guess I did that just in time. Between license and registration, April, May, I got the letter in June.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Fell right between the cracks, huh?
right, I guess.
All right. Well, great. And so, what's do you have like an upcoming project that you're working on that's next on your table that you got to take care of, Cindy?
We do, and it's water reminders.
Oh, I don't have that.
Of people that haven't paid their water bill? Yeah.
Yeah, so just a couple of things. So the first quarter tax bill is due this Friday. The sewer bills, we still have to do the billing in the current utility software. As everyone's aware, we're having a lot of problems with the Vision 2.0 software when it comes to utility billing, so that's water and sewer. We did go out to bid. We awarded a contract for new water sewer billing software. Kickoff meeting with that new contractor is in a week or two. But obviously, until that's implemented, and it takes a good 6 months to implement a new software, the water and sewer still have to be processed through the current software. So I was hoping to have the sewer billing out in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be delayed. I already know that. The next ongoing project is the tax sale. The tax sale was the first notices went out to anyone who owed past due real estate and sewer bills. And we've gotten really a good response back on that. So that's still ongoing. The tax sale, I believe, is August 25th. So that leaves the water delinquencies, and we actually, I had a meeting with Christine this morning. She is working on the delinquency list for water. So there will be notices going out for that in the next week or two.
All right. I'm always very big on paying my, I don't live in the city, but paying my water bill because the last thing I want is the water shut off.
Exactly.
That just scares me to no end.
Well, technically speaking, they pull your CO, but you can't live in a place without water.
So get out.
No, go
That's
drill
even worse.
drill a well and get it tested and get it
Drill a well.
certified, or pay
Oh,
your
yeah.
bill.
Right.
One might be cheaper than the
I
other.
think paying the bill is going to be cheaper.
I don't think you can drill wells in the city.
Well, there may be another audience. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You got to have potable water in a dwelling, otherwise they don't let you live there. And that's
Alright.
way beyond city.
All right.
Yeah, that's
And
the
of
state
course,
stuff.
the city doesn't want to shut off someone's water. I mean, that is
Oh,
the
right.
absolutely last
You know why?
resort
Because
we
they just
do.
got to go out and turn it back on again afterwards. I mean, why?
So we, we work with the homeowner. We try very hard to avoid having to shut off the water.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end of the program here, but I did want to bring this up because it's things you got just to look out for. It's got nothing to do with the city. It's got nothing to do with finances, Cindy. This took place in Austin, Texas. A couple out there ran a faith-based pyramid scheme during COVID and now facing a $10 million court judgment. LaShonda and Marlon Moore ran a company called Blessings in No Time out of their home, and they promised to, quote, bless participants with large sums of money if they bought into their investment scheme. And they even appeared on a reality show that was on the Oprah Winfrey Network, which gave them an air of legitimacy. Oh, they must be okay. Oprah's got them on her network, so they must be okay. And so hundreds of people bought in. Here's my money, and they never saw their cash again. And the court order sets up a Texas-administered fund that will make the victims whole, which is great.
Right.
If they can get the $10 million out of this couple.
Right.
So
Yeah.
buyer beware.
Yes, definitely.
Be careful where you invest your money. You just never know where it's really going to go. All right, that does it for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening in. Always appreciated. Dave Richards, thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you for having me, Joe.
Absolutely. Sue Tester McKenzie from The Call, thanks for coming.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Stay hydrated.
All right, and Cindy Johnson, Finance Director from the City of Woonsocket, thanks for carving out a half an hour to
Thank
get
you
here.
for having
now
me.
get back there and
I always enjoy coming here, Joe.
crack the whip back there at City Hall with the finance people.
Right.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone, and stay tuned. Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember? Is coming up at 9:30 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. The two sisters accused of killing their father here in Woonsocket earlier this year were arrested.